Welcome to July. Has it been crazy for you? Because it's been a little crazy for me. And one of the reasons that it's been so crazy is all the places we've been going. Sometimes it's just to the grocery store three times a day. Sometimes it's up to grandma and grandpa's house. Other times we're going on some really fun trips. But one of the things I know about this season is that most people have schedules that are chaotic and all over the place. And so today I'm so excited to talk about some quick travel tips and how empowered eating fits into the travel season.
So the connection between our gut health and our mental resilience is absolutely amazing.
Can we just talk about this trend that is happening everywhere? If you are joining us again, I'm so glad you're here. Hi, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. Welcome to Empowered Eating. Either way, I want to do a very quick overview of what empowered eating is, because it's really going to set the stage for how we talk about food in this travel season. So empowered eating, in short, is looking at food through a three-part lens. And those three parts are your values, nutrition science, and biofeedback. I think all three are very important. We get a lot of the nutrition science piece in today's world. And I think that's why we're so overwhelmed. We get all the things of like, eat more protein, balance your hormones, do all this for anti-aging, but we forget to filter those through first and foremost, what's important to us and what we value. And then second, what our body actually says about all of that. And so it's important to look at food through all three, and especially when it comes to the travel season. Now, my values are faith, family, fun, and impact. So that is how I shape my food philosophy, is through those four values. So when it comes to travel season, you better believe my fun factor is high, and that is important to me. So the way I approach trips is I am looking for how can I maintain my nutrition and my health so that I have enough energy to keep up with all the fun. And also, how can I have fun with my food? So I don't tend to be one of those that looks at like, how do I eat the healthiest possible on vacation? Because that doesn't really fit into my value system. Now, that's not to say that's how you work. You might be someone that feels better in routine and predictability. And if that's you, guess what? Coming up with a plan is going to be just as important as like packing enough underwear for your trip. So first and foremost, we have to look at our values and how we want nutrition to fit in this travel season. The second is nutrition science. So I have a couple really quick nutrition tips that I think everybody can use on any trip. Again, whether you're going across the town to the grocery store or flying across the world to an amazing adventure. And that is looking for what nutrition pieces can I take with me that have the highest return on investment. I'm looking for little practices that have the highest ROI, because when I'm on a trip, I want to be having fun. I want to be doing all the things. I don't want to be worried about all the macros and, getting all my supplements, but I do want to take things with me that help me optimize my energy and get the most out of it. Things with the highest ROI. The things that I find to have the highest return on investment when you're traveling is bringing along something that provides fiber and something that provides protein. Those two things tend to be the primary nutrients that take a major hit when we travel. It's really hard to eat a lot of fiber when we have access to a grocery store and a fridge and control over all of our food. It's so much harder when we're going out to eat, or we're staying with friends or family, or we're at the whim, we're at the demands of other people's schedules. It gets tricky. So fiber is something that I highly recommend most folks take with them. My personal favorite is these sun fiber packets. They're great for travel because they come in a single serving packet. You can adjust them if you want to give your kids some. What this is a prebiotic and a probiotic. And if you've been here before, you know I love my gut health. I love taking care of my gut bugs. This sun fiber supplement is such a great way to do that. It gives a 5-gram fiber bump alongside a probiotic just to keep my gut nice and healthy while I travel, keep my immunity up. And like I said, it comes in these single serving packets, so you can pack them really easy and then adjust them if needed for your family. So this is one I recommend to most folks I work with. The other is a good protein bar. Protein has a high ROI. When you start hitting your protein targets, you feel it in a few days. But the reverse is also true. When you don't eat your protein targets, you feel it in a few days. And so that's something I also like to take with me because it has that high return on investment. So I will pack my favorite protein bar right now. That protein bar is those David's protein bars. I think they're great. They tend not to melt as fast as some of the other ones. They have the highest protein content and a lower sugar count. Now, let me just say something about this sugar, because if you heard that, and I'm just curious, like how you received that, first of all. Some of you might go, oh, yeah, like no sugar. Some of you might be thinking, well, I don't want to restrict my sugar. We're going to hear that comment so differently depending on your experience. But here's why I have chosen that. Because I know when I am out and about on any trip, cross town to the grocery store or across the country, I love serving vanilla lattes. I love getting a vanilla latte at a local coffee shop. Again, whether it's just across town or in another state, in another country, because to me, that is something that is a part of the fun and the trip. So what I have found to be really helpful is having these protein bars that provide just protein, not a lot of carb or sugar. And then I get my sugar and my carbs from that latte. And it's a great combo and it sets me up for an amazing snack. That is how I have figured out how to provide a little bit of nutrition while still having fun on my trip. So for you, my question would be, how can you provide protein, and in what format do you need to provide that protein to give you the best bump? If you're not a sugar latte person, you might need a protein bar like a Barbells, which has some carbohydrate in it and protein. We're getting more of that 1-to-1 carb to protein ratio, which is awesome. But ultimately, we have to figure out what fits you and your style. But that's my style. Bottom line, I recommend most of my clients take some sort of fiber supplement, in particular, this Sun Fiber packet, and a protein bar. It's got the highest ROI. Okay, that's the nutrition science. So we've got the values assessment where we think, okay, what do my values say about this trip and how do I want nutrition to fit in? We've got some nutrition science, finding at least a couple things to take with you that have the highest ROI for your trip. I typically recommend fiber and protein. And then number 3 is biofeedback. What does your body say? Now, this is where things can get a little, I'm going to call it rainbow colored because there's not a one size fits all answer. If you were to ask me a year ago, Jess, based on your values and your biofeedback, how do you approach eating on a trip? I would have told you this. I would have said, I live my best life. I like to go. I like to be fully in the moment, enjoy the food around me, and trust my body. When I get back, I will hit my rhythms and routines again, and I don't need to worry about it while I'm on vacation. That is how I approached it. And I primarily approached it that way because of that fun value. Here's what's changed. In the last year, my biofeedback has dramatically shifted. And a lot of this is perimenopause. I feel those swings in hormones. I feel my sleep impacted. I break out like a teenager if I am not incorporating certain foods into my diet, or I'm adding in extra foods that just have an impact on my gut health. So this year looked a little bit different for me. And it is that I had just a bit more intentionality with my food. So for example, we took the kids to Epic Universe this year. It was so fun. If you haven't heard of Epic Universe, it's the new Universal Studios. And oh my gosh, I don't even know how to tell you how much fun it was. I think Epic Universe will be what Disneyland was to us millennials. Like it will be to our kids what Disneyland was to us. It is so immersive. The experience is incredible. I mean, Harry Potter world, How to Train Your Dragon world. That's not what it was called. Oh, Isle of Berk. That's what it is. The Isle of Berk. They had Dark Universe and Mario World. Oh my gosh, Mario World. My boys were in heaven. I was like overstimulated to the max. I mean, imagine being inside a Super Mario video game. That is what's happening. You've got little kids like running around, punching question mark box. Ding, 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 ding. It's wild. So anyways, we went to Epic Universe and one of the things I typically do when I go to these places is I look up like what are all the foods I need to eat. So we got the list of foods we need to eat in Epic Universe, and it consisted of like the butterbeer crepe from Harry Potter World, the pineapple Donkey Kong float, which was literally pineapple Dole Whip in pineapple juice in a cone with like caramel sauce on top. I mean, this thing probably had hundreds of grams of sugar, but it was really cute in this amazing like Donkey Kong barrel mug. The whole thing was there. So that was on the list. Steaks in Dark Universe, and then there were a few other things. So we got the list, and of course, we went and did all of them. And I think just a year ago would have said like, kids, you get one, and dad and I are going to get another one, and we'd get two between the four of us because I would want to fully partake and have this. What was different this year is my biofeedback just doesn't appreciate that level of fun anymore. So I still partook, but I absolutely adjusted my portion sizes this year because I didn't want to not sleep. We were clocking 12-hour days at a theme park. Like I needed to sleep. On top of that, it was my PMS week. And so I knew if I wasn't giving myself consistent carbohydrate, like I was giving myself the butterbeer crepe and then the Donkey Kong Dole Whip pineapple float, I was going to get these huge blood sugar swings. So this wasn't coming from a place of restriction or thinking I can't have it. It really was coming from a stance of empowerment in the sense that I knew I wanted to be able to show up in this trip and have all the energy every single day. So there was a big shift. Another shift that happened was with my husband. So we recently did some lab work, which this is biofeedback. Lab work is clinical biofeedback. And we got some news about his heart. And he has a heart condition that is genetic, and it requires him to pay extra attention to some of the dietary fats that he takes in. So he had some adjustments as well. Typically, he would be getting like a Monte Cristo and fish and chips and all the fried things. But this go around, what we did was we would share the fish and chips and a salad on the side. So again, not because we're coming from a place of restriction, but really looking at our biofeedback and valuing caring for our body amidst this really fun, epic trip. Here's the really cool thing. Because I refuse to live in black or white thinking around my food, this trip, it allowed me to be in the moment, enjoy all the things that I want to enjoy, but listen to my body in the moment. And the thing I love about that, and I'll tell you, it took me a long time to get here. It really did. And I'm still not perfect at it. Sometimes I learn the hard way and I'm like, all right, that was way too much, you know? But the point is that we listen to our body and we adapt and adjust in the moment. And what was cool about doing that this trip is that even though it looked a little bit different, it really fine-tuned my ability to be present in the moment because I was listening to my body. And that kind of spilled out into other things. Like I was more present with my kids. I was more present in conversation with my husband. And ultimately, that is the beauty of biofeedback, is it's an invitation to be present and connected. So the next trip you are on, my invitation for you is to lean in and listen to that biofeedback. Be willing to get it a little wrong, because if you do, guess what? Your body's amazing and resilient, and you will bounce back. You might not feel good for the rest of the night, but you'll feel okay tomorrow. And then instead of sitting in shame or beating yourself up and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm just going to go crazy the rest of the trip and I'll reset when I get back, let's fine tune it right there. What can you do differently the next day so that you can get the most out of your trip, both in the sense of food, but also in the sense of being present and having the energy to fully show up. Okay, so quick recap on travel tips for you, because if you got another trip, I know you're going to want to take this with you. Number one, do a quick values assessment. How do you want this travel season to look according to your values? Number two, nutrition science. Let's grab a couple things that have the highest ROI. I recommend the fiber supplements, Sun Fiber, which if you're on my email list, I will include those in the email. And I also recommend some protein source. I like protein bars because they're just easy. Some people like protein powders. Getting some sort of protein so you can have that quick protein snack. And then number three, listening to your biofeedback, adjusting in real time and knowing that that might look different depending on the season of your life that you're in. And that's okay. That's just what we're here to do. All right, my friend, wherever you're going next, I hope you have an incredible time and I hope you take empowered eating with you. We'll see you next time. Cheers and happy eating.